All right, hello again, everybody. It's Doug here with the LincolnList.com. We're going to do another trade recap. Again, another $1,500 worth of gains right out of the first 30 minutes of trading. That goes back to a good dozen or so 1K plus days right within the first hour. And there's a lot of great action in the first hour. And if you're learning how to trade or you've been in the game, you know the first 1 hour period is really the sweet spot. When you look back at your career, all the great trades, or the majority of the good trades, happen right there at that time. Now, that doesn't mean there's not opportunity the rest of the day. That there is often, but you're going to find out that most of the money that you make is in the morning. And if you do it right, and it's really important, but if you do it right, you have the ability to make 1,000 or 2,000, whatever you want, early in the morning, and if you want to, you can cut out the rest of the day. That's one of the beauties about trading, is that independence and flexibility. So let's talk a little bit about these trades, what we're seeing, giving you a glimpse of how we do things here at the Lincoln List. The first trade was CALI, and this is a trade I normally don't take, but one of the things that we see is anytime you get around holidays or the summer, you start getting the spec trades. It's like when they turn the keys over to retail traders, you start seeing these ridiculous moves on this garbage stock. Like, let's not even pull any punches here. CALI, it's a bunch of poo, just a big bunch of poo. And I normally don't buy these, but it's just one of the things about being a trader is you have to change sometimes, and the market goes through periods that you're not going to like. You know, you're not going to like the way it's acting, and you have to change your strategy, or you have to do a few different things. And that's all about being a trader and being in this game. So what we're looking at here is, I don't know how many hundreds of percent silly, ridiculous move, but as I said, a lot of these moves, as we're going back through this week, we've seen these stocks continue at least to show periods of morning strength for 15 to 20 minutes, bare minimum. Now, some of these have continued to run up all day, like a HIMSI, HIMSI, and a couple of these others, but HIMNY, I'm sorry, HIMNY, HMNY. But we're seeing at least some strength early, so I wanted to capitalize on that. And as I mentioned in a couple of these videos, I don't like trading in the pre-market. So as soon as it opens, I thought, hey, if we take out pre-market high, I can get long here a little bit, crossing around the 350s, and I'll use 3.25 to 3 flat as a stop. You got to use a stop on these things, because 1 minute this stock could be at $4, the next minute it could be at 50 cents. They also carry a higher degree of halting risk, circuit breaking, and etc. And sometimes, you know, like maybe in a situation like a KBIO, it might run up and it might get halted for a long period of time. So again, there's a different element of risk, and that's why I'm usually up towards the 20 plus category when I'm trading stocks. But the opportunity was there. I'm familiar with how CALI worked. It is a former runner, so I had a couple of different things in its favor. Got long as soon as it spiked. No way was I was gonna hold that thing. Impossible. Now, it wasn't a huge winner, but you pick up, you know, plus four, you know, almost $500 there right out of the open. So, you know, when you're looking at it, this is less. This is a 5-minute candle. This thing was less in duration, probably a 2 to 3 minute trade. So, you know, if you're making $500 in 2 to 3 minutes, can you complain? Can you really complain? I mean, how many people can do that? And that's why we're all here, right? That's what we're all trying to do. So a pretty good trade. Again, something I don't take. Now, we have seen a few of these fizzle off, but I've long since stopped trading short side to cheap single-digit stocks. You know, I've had my fair share of those, and you get in one like a Digley or a Lake or a VLTC, again, KBIO, you could lose your account. So I think the risks of trading these short side, you know, unless you're using extraordinarily tight stops and super discipline, is really tough to short these on the first day. But this one would have been a good one, a nice little fader. Again, we're seeing a 50-50 here of some that are continuing on for a couple of days and some fading. Trade's probably over here, but we'll see what happens with this one. Now, the second one was a little bit better, was Zillow. This is a much more comfortable zone for me as far as premium. Now, this, if you watched yesterday's video, we talked about, you know, the $1,000 trade on BIDA. This was very similar to BIDA, where, you know, BIDA had an investment, they received an investment, and the stock went up, which is good. But, you know, again, it's all about, you know, stocks percentage-wise and their move. That's what I discussed in that video. It's not so much when you're shorting a stock as it is the percent move. You know, it's the percent move plus the speed and everything else that goes into it, how it achieves that move. You know, and when we had BIDA, we looked at it and said, that's a great investment. It's worth a pop, but maybe 10% is a little bit of excessive, so we want to look for a short. Same here with Zillow. You had some news on here, and it was just something that just didn't seem like, from 30 to pretty much opening up at 33. It just seemed like it was just a little too much, just like bid, just maybe a lot more than it needed to be for the news. So we're looking to short this, and one of the things I like is when you kind of get that gap and then the go. When you can kind of get a really big gap of 10+% or whatever it might be. This one wasn't quite that high. But then they shoot up at the open. That is a tier 1 legendary short opportunity just about every time. So we've got this one sitting here, and it doesn't quite work out to a tier 1. It's more like a tier 2 where I'm wanting it to pop at the open, but it doesn't do it. And, it starts to get a little bit of red, and I thought, well, now's a better time than any. And sometimes you can do this. Again, it's not, if you don't know what I'm talking about with tiers, I did a video. Just send me an email, support@thelincolnlist.com. I will send you a video about tier trading where, you rank your trades, and that's what dictates your position size. So as soon as we start the breakdown, we got a couple of candles. It's a straightforward trade. You're just shorting into it, stopping over the first opening pivot. And you can get kind of aggressive with that if you're disciplined with your stop. And then a nice little ride down. I didn't go as heavy as I normally would because it was just one of those trades where I was looking for the pop. I would have been more aggressive on that. I didn't get it. But a good sell-off. That all that really matters in this case is that you made money, the trade worked, you had an idea, and you executed it. And as we always kind of say around the trading circles, there's no bad trade if you use a stop, right? It's when you're not using a stop or you're not using discipline, that's when the crap gets out of control for you. And, you lose big time money. And I think a lot of traders struggle with that, especially early on, as making a bunch of money and winning a lot, and then one big loss comes by, and it's like, poof, there goes your month. Poof, there goes your year. It can be devastating if the wrong stock gets out of hand. Again, you don't have to cling on to your stop, but have some targets, have some areas, have your plans. That's how you make money. Managing your position size. As I said in a lot of these videos, managing risk isn't just stops; it's also position sizing. So Zillow, a really, really good fade. And then UNFI here as well. This was another one here, a good one, just getting in on the first candle. This one kind of gave you the mini gap and go where you ripped right at the open with a really, really strong candle. Kind of just opens at 41.94, shoots up to 44. That's a pretty big dollar move, and a percent move in a single candle, which helps it to be, kind of lines it up nicely for short. Now, one of the issues that I had with this one was the, let's call it the janky moving in pre-market. It was like breaking out, then fading, and then it kind of pulls I'm going to go down at the open, and then shoots right back up. When you saw Zillow, how it kind of grinded up in pre and post-market and pre-market, and then you wanted it to launch. That's kind of what you're still looking for. What I'm looking for here is for it to continue to make highs, go like this way, or grind up, or hold that, and then gap, kind of, what I'm talking about, grinding up, not giving back a decent amount in pre-market. But I thought if we can get a little bit over top of the highs here, it could be a good trade. It was just a good, fast, quick trade where you got this euphoria extension exhaustion candle. Now, I've gone over this before, and if it's the first time you're watching one of these videos, I just want to make it clear for everyone to understand. When you're doing the shorts like this, it's not about your thoughts and feelings towards the company or where you think this thing might be towards the end of the day. As a day trader, you probably already know you're just taking advantage of these little price and fluctuations throughout the course of the day. That's how you make your money. Now, because you short something in the morning doesn't mean it won't be at all-time highs before the end of the day. Same way sometimes you buy something in the morning doesn't mean it's not going to tank in the afternoon. I mean, it could be night and day the way these stocks work in the morning session versus the afternoon session. So when we look at this trade, that's what we had. It was just a little scalp coming right out of the first 5-minute candle, taking advantage of this, getting up here towards the 44.30s over top of the highs, and allowing it to come down, covering real quickly, 50, 60 cents, taking the money, and then just moving on, because a lot of times, especially in the morning, you'll see these things bury into a moving average, and then like this one, grind back up at high. Now once it starts to grind back up at highs, it doesn't become, for me, just because of the percentage wise, it doesn't become a short again, because you never get that vertical move. So again, what we're doing where we trade when we're looking at shorts, it has to be parabolic, supernova, vert, whatever you want to call it. You have to have that ramp up, speed up, volume move combined with the percentage increase. You put those two together, and then the trade has a higher probability of working. It doesn't guarantee you any success, extra success, but it does help you out a lot more. So, well, it does guarantee a little bit more, so, but there are no guarantees in market. That's what I meant. But anyway, a really nice session there. Again, we're holding steady here with being able to manage well over $1,000 every day right out of the open. Now that's something that, for a noob, is that something that's achievable? Probably not. You're going to have to learn the strategies. If you're sitting there struggling, you're trying to figure this stuff out, you're trying to add new strategies to your toolkit, you're trying to learn how other traders think, you're trying to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday or today, or that didn't sound well, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you're looking to elevate your game, take a moment, visit the linkenlist.com. Still have a free trial available. You can come in, you can watch us trade every day. This stuff is not, it's, I don't even like to call it, it's not even a chat room. A chat room is someplace that you go and somebody's typing in, hey, I'm in, I'm out. I mean, what kind of alert is that? I mean, what are you learning from that? Here at our place, you see all these trades live on screen, very similar to what you're doing right here. I have audio, voice. It's like a radio station every day. I'm speaking out the calls. I'm showing them on screen. You're seeing all this happen live. It allows you to get a first-hand look of how we approach the market before it opens, how we trade the open, what we do when the trades work well, what do we do when the trades don't work well, how do we manage the trade. All this element we always teach: idea, execution, and management. You have to have those three components to be a good trader, and things happen in the market, and you have to be able to adapt. So if that's what you're looking for, visit the linkenlist.com, take a free trial. Other than that, thanks for listening to this video. I hope I was able to educate you in some way. As always, take care of yourself. Talk to you soon.